Hey everybody, thought I'd just give an update on what happened over the weekend in the shop. Got quite a bit done this weekend. Wound up working on the Grove bandsaw, which you can see there. Hooked up a VFD to it. Just getting ready for some new blades that are coming in today. So anyway, just thought I'd get that tuned up so that I can get back into kind of production mode on some other stuff I'm working on. And then wound up I took the motor out of that bandsaw. I had a single phase 1.5 horse motor that I was running in it, and then I went back to the standard 3-phase 1 horsepower motor. So, and then hooked up the VFD to it. And so that turned out really well. And then since I had that motor left over that came out of it, I wound up putting it in this belt sander, this real wide belt sander that I got. So yeah, basically wound up getting it tuned up, and it works really well now. I just got to hook up a switch to it, so get that wired hopefully this week. And then back onto the FJ project, the FJ stretch. So I went ahead, I felt like I was at a spot where I needed to kind of get the gap filled in on where I'd added the 26 inches of frame in between the frame sections. And I just really wanted to see, I had wound up getting I wanted to see what the doors were going to look like, the rear passenger doors. So I wound up, the guy I'd gotten the hardtop and the doors from, he wound up having another FJ that he wanted a windshield installed on. So we worked out a deal where he would give me these hinges if I installed the windshield for him. So I did that the other day for him. That was a pretty quick job to turn around. And he gave me a set of hinges out of the deal. And so yeah, so that was pretty cool. So then I could start mocking up the doors to kind of figure out what dimensions they needed to be. So how I did that, I took the stock doors, they're 34 inches wide, and I kind of figured out what the gap was on the stock doors to where this body line is. Kind of figured out the relationship of that, the door to the gap. And then I came over here, and I kind of had established what my gap was going to be between here and then the hinge plate. And so I just calculated that out. It came out to about 30.25 or 30.125. And so I went ahead and laid out the doors. I'll see if I can plug in some footage of me doing that. And so laid out the measurements on that. I think I wound up cutting down at like 3.75, 3 3/4, I think is what I cut out up the middle. And I tried to take it in an area where you can kind of see on the inside there, the door. I tried to do it in a high area where it would meet high to high. I know there's one little indentation like right in there that I'm going to have to make a filler piece in. But I wanted to try to keep the window regulator, keep the latch mechanism and where it fits. So it was all that kind of fussy stuff that I was just trying to figure out where's the best place to take it. So I think I got that right, hopefully. And so then I just came in, sliced those, and then I've just tacked them together. Now the issue that I'm going to wind up having is there's a section. Let me just have to kind of lift up on this to open it. There's a section right there, that kind of like bulkhead piece, and so obviously like that's got to be clear for that to hit. So I've been looking at other people that have done this. I mean, and it's limited, like the ones that I like. There aren't too many that I like, honestly. I think there's like one other one that I'm kind of keen on as far as the shape of the door. So you can see I've laid out some lines here. And this, each one of these lines is representing this kind of embossed portion here, and so that's going to run down. And I'm trying to follow that angle of the wheel well. So I don't know if you can get a sense of that, but that's kind of what I'm looking at. And then I'll have to create all of this inner liner section right here, along here underneath as a part of the body. And then I went ahead yesterday and I bent up. I don't know if you can see this. This has a little return on it. There's a little bend right there. And so I hammered that all out and cut that to the shape. And then it'll form kind of this, the same thing as this, but over here. And I've got the other side prepped. I just need to do the return on the underneath side. And then I can splice that in and start building in this door sill, essentially. Like there's going to be a section here, and that'll get grafted in. That's from an old section, obviously. And then I'll just have to continue that. It's got to transition along up to this, and I've got to do all the kind of body work on it. So that's why I've got to figure out where these doors are going to get cut again, like on the corners, so that bulkhead lets the door shut all the way. And but I wanted to get that established. I thought it was really important to get that established, and then I could start working on these main B pillars. And I had made these up earlier, so these are made out of really thick tube that I had from the previous owner that owned this place. Actually, he had a bunch of this stuff, so I modified these. I don't know if you can see that. I actually split the tube, welded this up, bent it down, welded it. This side still needs to get welded, but I wanted to wait because there's the same thing. There's going to be this kind of return right here, this dished area, and I've got to figure out how I make that. And then this is going to get all boxed in. There's a bunch of stuff in here, boxing around the hinge plate, and then there's probably going to be the same type of thing happening here, and it's got to join back up with that. And then of course window frame all comes up and rests against that. So that's this piece is pretty critical, and so I spent a lot of time kind of getting the alignment on that, making sure that it matched body line and the flow of that in relationship to the hard top. So and then once I get all that done, then I start tying in all these components from the windshield, these bracing. That's all going to get tied in, and then I can wrap that up. So really, this is probably I don't know, for me at least, I think this is a real essential part to get all this framed in, and then I can start working on details of the actual door, window frame, and all that. And but I feel like if I can get it buttoned up at the bottom, and and get all this stuff done, then it's just a matter of like I said, boxing this in, making my hinge plates accessible from the inside, so that if the doors need adjustment, I can do that. So it shouldn't be too bad, as long as I just kind of take my time and make a good plan. So that's why I've been a little slower now moving than I was initially, because I feel like I have to take my time and really plan out each step, so that I don't wind up doing something that I'll regret later on. So yeah, so two passenger side rear doors in, tacked in at least, and we'll get kind of the details wrapped up. I'm pretty happy that I've got this sags a little bit, so shape wise I know this will start hitting down here once I get things aligned. But as far as my vertical or my horizontal alignment, pretty happy with that. Again, this pillar kind of like in there is working pretty well. So yeah, so that's where we're at. So and again, it's been good, like figuring this stuff out and kind of seeing what I can get done. So